hard problem around a police force is they have a moral right to violence, and they're in a position of power. Humans will always justify bad things. People will always use a moral high ground to justify bad actions, and power corrupts absolutely. So no one is surprised that the Marion police are willing to go in and raid an old woman's house and a news agency, something so sacred that not only do we have a First Amendment for people, we make a special inclusion for journalism because of how important information is. But they'll still do it. You need a subpoena to even deal with journalism, and they couldn't even get a good warrant, and no one disagrees. And even after they're forced to return everything, it took them 8 days, and now we found that they didn't return everything. Let's jump into this clip to discover what was missing.
A significant update tonight as we follow through with our coverage of the raid on a Kansas newspaper. Our investigative unit has learned that law enforcement downloaded copies of the newspaper's computers and kept the data. A court ordered the seized items to be returned to the newspaper last week.
Senior I-Team reporter Jessica McMaster has been covering this developing story every step of the way, and she joins us now with the evidence.
Law enforcement provided 2 copies of the items seized from Marion County Record. And the one law enforcement gave to the court, there are 9 items listed. And the one law enforcement gave to the attorney, just 8.
No one has been able to explain to me yet why the list that they gave my forensic examiner had 8 items, and the list we finally got a week later from the court had 9 items.
It's another concerning layer for the police raid on Marion County Record for the newspaper's attorney, Bernie Rhodes.
I was pretty sure passwords are on the list.
On Tuesday, Marion County District Court released the list of items seized from the newspaper. On one of the lists, line item 9, you'll see OS Triage Digital Data. This is a clone of the newspaper's computers, an item that's not included on the list, given to Rhodes more than a week ago.
19 gigs of data. This wasn't 1 or 2 documents.
Raid surveillance shows a sheriff's deputy in a blue shirt wearing khakis taking pictures. Rhodes says he spoke to the detective.
And he explained what he did. He plugged this device into a computer at the record, sat there while it ran through and copied data.
That happened during the raid on August 11th. The court order to release the seized items issued on the 16th, 8 days ago.
What's the concern about them having it this long? Are you worried they've been looking through it?
My concern is they should have given it back to us last week. I don't know what they've done to it in the week since, and I don't know what they're going to do until we get it back.
The discrepancies piling up. This latest issue comes just 2 days after the KSHB I-Team revealed the state website Marion Police Chief Gideon Cody accuses a record reporter of accessing illegally in his affidavit isn't the website she used, according to Kansas Department of Revenue.
It's extremely frustrating to know that when I wake up the next morning, there's going to be another mistake.
Errors in the affidavit, items left off an inventory list, the warrant withdrawn by the county attorney, citing a lack of evidence.
I'm going to snap a picture of that password right there.
In an email, Rhodes threatens to ask the court to hold the sheriff in contempt for failure to comply with the court's order to return everything.
The attorney for the newspaper tells us he did reach an agreement with the sheriff's department and the county attorney, who agreed to give him a copy of that data and that the original will be destroyed. For the I-Team, I'm Jessica McMaster, KSHB 41 News.
Oh, they most definitely need to put that sheriff in contempt. We need to throw the whole library at him. We really need to make an example of what people do when they abuse their power, especially police. These are the people who can literally snatch your freedom up. They're basically your judge in that short term. This is very important. I assure you, every precinct in all of America is bending rules to their favor because they believe they are the good guys protecting us from the bad guys. You can't stop bad people from doing bad things, so there is no way to stop police from doing this. But they do work for us. So when someone does make a mistake and they have broken the rules clearly, we need to make an example of them. Look at how much he abused his power. And now he's got a lot to cover up. This isn't just happening in small towns. If there's a local government, if there's a police force, and if there are lawyers and judges, this is what's happening. Powerful people use their power. For now, as long as we give the state all this power, it is what it is. But it doesn't have to be that way forever. I hope you learned something. This is Tristan with Radically Rational Radio. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next episode. Stay resilient.